All right. A very warm welcome to everyone that's joining us here live at Token 2049, as well as across the world, wherever this recording is shared later on. I'd like to welcome our colleagues from Antler. Before we dive right in, let me introduce myself. My name is Amar. I'm director at EMURGO, in charge of global business development. And I'd equally like to take an opportunity for my colleagues here to introduce themselves. So, folks, over to you. A small and quick and dirty introductions about yourself.
Thanks, Amar. Great to be here. My name is Nitin Sharma. I'm a partner at Antler, which is one of the largest early stage investment platforms in the world. I head our India fund, and I'm also the global head for Web3.
Hi, everybody. Super excited to be here. My name is Munji Buckens. I'm the head of Ibex Southeast Asia for Antler, right? And super excited to be here with you guys today to share more about this new partnership.
Brilliant. So, we have Nitin and Moonji with us. So, I'll go straight to the meat of the matter. Unless you have been living under the rock, you don't know what Antler is, but it's still, for the rest of the audience, let's touch upon what is Antler, geographical presence, a small introduction of Antler.
Sure. So, Antler is one of the largest and fastest growing early stage investment platforms for startups all over the world. We pride ourselves as day zero investors. So our DNA is actually to back people literally when they just have an idea in their head. Sometimes the idea, product, or the team itself is not final. So we're day zero investors. And the second thing is we are very, very global and very decentralized, which is why we also fit very well with Web3. We started about 6 years ago. We manage about $1 billion under management right now, and we are in 30 locations worldwide. So it's a very, very global footprint. And the idea is to, in each location, enable founders in that ecosystem to have all the tools needed to get started on their venture, including things like validating their ideas, finding a co-founder, which is a huge problem. And so, yeah, it's been a very, very rapid growth path for us. And Web3 is actually one of the areas which we are very, very excited about. And about 30 of our investments are in Web3.
Great. Day zero investor incubator across the globe and now getting into Web3 space. What does that mean? So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that because last week it was announced that Antler is partnering with EMURGO and creating a new fund, Ibex, which will be focused on Web3 investments in financial sectors and so on, right? So I'd like to touch a little bit upon Ibex as well. So what is Ibex? How is it set up? What's the vision? And so on. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Amar, for the questions, right? So Ibex is basically a new, it's our corporate innovation and investment platform from Antler. That basically the goal is to help organizations such as EMURGO supercharge their innovation effort by working with startups. And how do we do that? There's basically two components in Ibex. There's number one, the innovation advisory platform, which basically enables you to work with startups and extract tangible value with startups. Because, corporates and startups usually don't work really well. They usually fail. So what we do is we work together to strengthen our partners' innovation engine. Are you ready to work with startups? What problem and opportunity statement are we going to work on? We then also maximize the chances of success of working with startups. So, okay, it's nice to work with startups, but what does it mean? Are we doing a POC? Are we doing a FPP? Are we doing a commercial partnership? The devil is in the detail. And last but not least, we also connect you with other global leaders in the financial service space to talk about problem statements which are shaping your industry. That's the first component of Ibex, the innovation advisory platform. And the second component is the investment platform. And here, what we enable our Ibex partner is to access a global indexed portfolio of early stage enter startups in a selected vertical. So here, financial services and fintech. And those more than 130 fintech startups, right, form the base of all the financial and strategic gains that we will give and share with our IBEX partners.
Awesome. Brilliant. Thanks for that, Monji. Well, the music here at Token2049 is revving up. So time for us to rev up and go into more details, 2 clicks deeper. So what does EMURGO's partnership with IBEX look like, right? And if you can we tease that who else is part of IBEX and who not? Again, I know some of these things are sensitive, so I leave it up to you. Whatever you choose is right to share. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'm very excited because we just launched IBEX a week ago. We've been working 1.5 years to structure this program. IBEX is also a joint venture with a management consulting company, which are supporting us in delivering this. And IBEX, Antler, and EMURGO is a very powerful synergy because on one side, now you have, basically Antler founders and companies will get access to EMURGO expertise, ready-to-use assets, tools, networks, connection to scale and grow faster. On top of that, at Antler, we're looking to work always with industry leaders, right? And we are very excited to contribute to a chain-agnostic, decentralized financial stacks that will provide the infrastructure for the next wave of innovation across blockchain, with use cases such as tokenization, real-world assets integration, stable coins, and that will reshape industries. So that's very exciting for all our founders and startups to be part of that. On the other hand, as Nikhil was mentioning earlier, Antler also brings now the VC, the venture capital rigor in the assessment of our ideas and all that. And we bring that to EMURGO projects also, which will have to go also through that rigors. And now real tangible project will also get the support to scale and grow. And to your questions, yes, we have IBEX is done by industry. So here we're talking about financial services, IBEX, where we're going to have like 5 partners globally working together. We have EMURGO, a Web3 blockchain company, and we have other partners that we will announce very soon, but like major banks, major asset managers are also working with us on that. So really exciting.
That's really good. So as you can hear, it's a two-way street, right? It's EMURGO contributing to the portfolio companies as well as IBEX startup investment portfolio companies, as well as vice versa, right? Antler helping out in building that funnel for Web3 that will make sure that Antler is at the precipice of Web3 innovation and what have you. Talking about Web3, Nitin, you're no newbie to the Web3 world and so on, right? I'd like to hear your thoughts. What do you think are the emerging trends in Web3? What are the things that you're looking into or you're eyeing in general?
Yeah, so I think, I just like to divide the world into sort of keep it simple, divide it into asset and applications. I think the application side is finally becoming interesting. There are some green shoots, especially on Web3 social, and just to some extent, crypto and AI, the intersection of crypto and AI. But I think obviously 80% or more of the action value is really on the asset side, the DeFi side. And that's what we're really excited about, as Monji mentioned, given EMURGO's and Cardano's history of going quite deep into building some of the best tokenization, programmable wallet, stablecoin infrastructure around DeFi, is, I think, a great entry point for the founders that we work with. So, obviously within DeFi or within the infrastructure side, I think biggest theme for us is really just more uses of stable coins, seeing more founders try use cases around remittances, for example. How this will interact with CBDCs over time is something we are seeing some early activity around. Deepin has been a hot theme. I actually had invested in the first wave of Deepin 5-6 years ago, and I think this time it's far more real. And then, we love what's happening in DeSci as well, decentralized science and very still small, but an extremely exciting area, which fits very well with the ability for Web3 to unlock so much more potential in the field of science, and the way science and research is funded. So, I would say that that's basically the gamut of what we are seeing. In the coming year, I think especially crypto, the intersection of crypto and AI might be where I think a lot more founders are talking about. We also have, on the infra side, a couple of really interesting companies trying to innovate around economic security, for example, right? So we have a company called Chain Risk out of India, which is doing a lot of work around how do you evaluate economic risk, especially on top of Eigenlayer or ABLs, etc. So yeah, I think it's all of the above. I think as Antler, we focus on whatever great founders are gravitating towards, rather than being too prescriptive about a certain thesis. I think the best talent gravitates to the best ideas, is our belief. So we focus a lot more on just creating the best way for founders, including those who are not from Web3, right? That's actually an area where Antler does a lot of work. Is Web2 founders making that transition to Web3 is something we can enable very well. And I hope that with the partnership with EMURGO, it happens even more strongly.
Very nice. So flexibility, agility, but not at the cost of not staying ahead of the curve and not at the cost of disruption. We heard that we are eyeing trends like AI, DeepIn, DeSci, payments, remittance. So EMURGO's product suite includes already a stablecoin that is being launched, which comes with inbuilt cross-remittance facility in different countries. Also, gold-backed stablecoin, which we'll talk about a bit later, which will be announced today.
And I forgot to mention real-world asset tokenization. I mean, that's actually where in the last 1 year, I think, especially Southeast Asia, India, we've seen a lot of interest from founders building for that. Not just things like real estate, but trade receivables and so on. So I think that's also something we can hopefully enable together.
Exactly. And EMURGO is a firm believer of we shouldn't use technology for the sake of technology. Whatever suits whichever project best, whichever chain, wherever we need to be. EMURGO is committed to the idea of building a financial stack, and all this financial stack will be interoperable with itself. Programmable wallet, tokenization platform, stablecoin, gold-backed coin, insurance premium. And with the help of Ibex, there'll be 50 or 100 more startups that can plug into this journey. The journey to go from 0 to 100 gets really accelerated, right? With that in mind, I also want to hear your thoughts. How do you see this partnership will pan out in short term, in mid term, and eventually in long term, and so on? Yeah.
We'll do that. Sure. So I think, as Monji covered a little bit initially as well, I think in the short term, more of sort of partnership around introducing founders to especially those three things, right? The programmable wallet, the stablecoin infrastructure, and the tokenization platform, because that's where more critical mass is. Over time, I think, and I want to underline the fact that because EMURGO has taken this view to be chain agnostic, I think that really, really makes it a much better proposition for founders who are still figuring out what chain they want to build on, because at the stage that they're in, that's not a decision they're ready to make without spending maybe a few months of running experiments and talking to the various ecosystems. So I think regardless of that, hopefully we can provide one gateway for a lot of founders to start their journey. I think over time, right now, as I mentioned, we have about 30 Web3 investments. There's no reason why this should not be 100 and in the next 2 years, right? So I think for us, this is also a way for us to ramp up our pace of investing in Web3. At some point, we would like to separately create a Web3 infrastructure platform to run cohorts for Web3 founders. I think when that happens, there may be even bigger partnership possibilities, because right now we will introduce the EMURGO ecosystem to various founders worldwide. But at some future point, maybe it makes sense to have a separate program itself for founders. But yeah, I think our view is that the space will only expand when we get out of just the core Web3 culture, which is great. But we need to broaden the pie, increase the pie, broaden the opportunity. And that happens when you create ways for a lot of talent that has product building experience, scaling experience in Web2 to come and try things on Web3, right? One other aspect is while there are 30 Web3 companies, there are probably 120, 150 other fintechs, startups at the seed stage, Series A stage, who want to try things like tokenization. They may not want to have a native crypto token of their own, but they might want to try tokenizing equity or some other asset. And so I think that could even be another avenue which is not so tied to, doing a Web3 fundraise or being in Web3.
That's really, really interesting, isn't it? Giving startups access to liquidity or tokenized equity, tokenized debt. I mean, sky's the limit. I have a feeling we can keep on going on for an hour or two. There's so many ideas here. But for the viewers, take note. Antler has arrived in the Web3 space in a bigger splash. It has been there, but now it has bigger plans. Same for EMURGO. So a lot is happening behind the scenes. We highly encourage anybody watching this who's interested to reach out to us. Please do so. But before I end this conversation, any parting words, any tease into what's to come in very near future?
Same thing. So we're really excited, right? As I said, we just launched Ibex, which is our corporate innovation and investment platform, right? So we have Antler, the venture capital with a 1,300 portfolio company. Now we are building a bridge for all those 1,300 companies with corporates, with people and organizations like EMURGO. So we're very excited, and I'm glad to announce that in the few coming weeks, we will announce new partnership, new Ibex partners, which are going to come into the platforms, and that will bring more value to EMURGO, as well as to our startups and to other Ibex partners. Secondly, also, we will be with you in Dubai in October. So I can say Antler Ibex team will be there in Dubai at the Cardano Summit. We will run a masterclass for EMURGO founders on how to scale and how Antler can support them also, and how VC can bring VC rigor and assessments also so to support those projects. And I'm also glad to say lastly that it's the early days, but we've already started some of our own startup already started discussing with you guys, right? And I'm really excited to see some of the collaboration that are going to come out of that, right? Not only just nice announcement, but tangible collaborations, right? Which leads to tangible solutions and impacts, right? So very excited. This is the beginning of a long journey for us. And if you want to know more about Ibex, a bit of self-promotion here also, we're going to have a global webinar on the 17th of October. You can come on Antler LinkedIn, and then you can know more about that if you want to know more about Ibex too. But thanks, Amar, for the partnership. We're really excited to be working with you.
Brilliant. So the energy here at Token2049 is picking up. Energy here, Antler and EMURGO is just getting started. Antler will be there at Cardano Summit. We'll have a masterclass on 17th. We'll have a global masterclass. Stay tuned. Reach out to us. It's just the beginning. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Monji. Appreciate your time. Yep.